Joseph was just 14 when he started selling groundnuts on the bustling streets of Abuja. With a tray balanced on his head, he walked through traffic under the scorching sun, calling out to passersby. Life was tough. His father, a retired driver, could no longer work due to illness, and his mother's petty trading barely kept food on the table. As the firstborn, Joseph felt responsible for supporting his younger siblings. For 7 years, Joseph faced insults, harsh weather, and long hours. Yet he never complained. Deep inside, he believed he was meant for something bigger. Every evening after his street rounds, he would sit outside their small, rented room, staring at the stars, imagining a life beyond the noisy streets. One day, while selling groundnuts near a cafe, Joseph overheard 2 young men talking about their tech jobs. They mentioned working remotely and earning in dollars. The idea fascinated him. Joseph had always been curious about computers, but never had the chance to touch one. That night, he told his mother about his dream to learn something in technology. "How will we afford it?" she asked gently, her face lined with worry. But Joseph wasn't discouraged. He decided to save every spare naira from his groundnut sales to pay for basic training. Every day, Joseph set aside a small portion of his earnings. It wasn't easy. He often had to skip meals to avoid dipping into his savings. He also began asking customers about opportunities in tech. Some ignored him, but a few gave him valuable advice. One customer, a middle-aged man named Mr. Adamu, became curious about Joseph's persistent questions. "You're serious about learning computers?" he asked. Joseph nodded eagerly. Mr. Adamu, a small business owner, took a liking to Joseph's enthusiasm. "I see something different in you," he said one day. "Come to my office tomorrow. Let's talk." The next day, Joseph arrived at Mr. Adamu's modest office, nervous but excited. The man handed Joseph an old laptop. "It's not much," he said, "but it works. You can learn the basics." Joseph was overjoyed. That night, he spent hours exploring the laptop, trying to figure out how it worked. Despite limited access to electricity, Joseph would charge the laptop at Mr. Adamu's office during the day and study by candlelight at night. He searched for free resources, discovering websites and YouTube tutorials that introduced him to basic computer skills. As Joseph became more comfortable with the laptop, he stumbled across a free online course about cybersecurity. The idea of protecting data and preventing online threats fascinated him. He realized this field had potential, and with determination, he decided to learn more. However, Joseph faced obstacles. Slow internet speeds and unreliable power supply often interrupted his studies. Still, he persevered. He used every free Wi-Fi spot he could find, sometimes sitting outside cafes or offices just to download course materials. His dedication began to show as he gradually gained knowledge and confidence. Balancing his groundnut business with his studies was exhausting. Joseph woke up earlier than usual to prepare for the day, spending hours selling before dedicating his evenings to learning. He practiced typing, completed cybersecurity challenges, and even joined free online forums to connect with others in the field. One day, he met a young programmer online who offered to mentor him for free. This connection proved invaluable, as the mentor provided guidance on building a portfolio and preparing for certifications. Slowly but surely, Joseph's efforts were paying off. Joseph's persistence began to yield results. Through his mentor's guidance, he earned his first free cybersecurity certificate. Though it was a basic qualification, it meant the world to him. It was proof that his hard work wasn't in vain. Word of his efforts began to spread in his community. One evening, a neighbor who worked at an internet cafe asked Joseph to help set up antivirus software on their computers. Joseph agreed, and although the task was simple, it boosted his confidence. It also earned him a small fee, which he added to his savings. Encouraged by this, Joseph started offering basic IT support to local businesses. He fixed minor computer issues and explained cybersecurity basics to anyone willing to listen. This marked a turning point. He realized he could apply his knowledge to real-world problems. Joseph's mentor encouraged him to take the CompTIA Security Plus exam, a globally recognized certification in cybersecurity. The exam fee was steep, far beyond what Joseph could afford. For weeks, he He debated whether to use his hard-earned savings or continue working until he could comfortably pay. One evening, his mother noticed his hesitation. "Joseph, if this is what will change your life, don't hold back," she said. Her words gave him the courage to go ahead. He registered for the exam and spent every waking moment preparing. The day of the exam arrived, and Joseph traveled across the city to the testing center. He was nervous, but focused. Weeks later, he received the results. He had passed. Holding the certification in his hands, Joseph felt a renewed sense of purpose. Armed with his new certification, Joseph began applying for entry-level cybersecurity roles online. It wasn't easy. He faced countless rejections due to his lack of formal education and experience. However, he didn't give up. One day, he received an email from a small tech startup in Lagos. They were impressed by his portfolio and wanted to interview him for a remote internship. The interview was nerve-wracking, but Joseph's passion and knowledge shone through. He was offered the position, which paid a modest stipend. Joseph threw himself into the internship with full commitment. The work was demanding, but he saw it as an opportunity to prove himself. He worked long hours, learning on the job and completing tasks that tested his skills. The team appreciated his work ethic and willingness to take on challenges. One day, his supervisor assigned him to a project involving penetration testing for a client. Joseph had never done this before, but he didn't let that stop him. He stayed up all night researching and practicing until he delivered exceptional results. The startup extended his internship and increased his stipend. With this extra income, Joseph could ease his family's financial burden. His younger siblings, who looked up to him as a role model, began to dream bigger themselves. During his time at the internship, Joseph continued applying for jobs internationally. One morning, he woke up to an email that made his heart race. A Canadian fintech startup wanted to interview him for a remote cybersecurity position. The interview process was intense, spanning multiple rounds. Joseph had to demonstrate his skills in real time, solve technical problems, and explain how he could secure their systems. Each round pushed him to his limits, but he remained calm and focused. After weeks of waiting, the offer letter arrived. Joseph was hired as a cybersecurity analyst, earning $3,500 per month. The news left him overwhelmed with gratitude. His journey from the streets of Abuja to a global career felt surreal. With his first salary, Joseph paid off his family's debts and upgraded their living conditions. He rented a better apartment for his parents and ensured his siblings were enrolled in good schools. His mother wept tears of joy when he surprised her with a gift, a small business grant to expand her petty trading. Joseph's success wasn't just his. It was a lifeline for his family, giving them hope for a brighter future. Joseph quickly adapted to his new role at the Canadian fintech startup. Despite working remotely from Abuja, he became an integral part of the team. His strong communication skills and ability to solve problems made him stand out among his peers. The work was challenging, but Joseph embraced every task with determination. He focused on protecting the company's sensitive data and combating potential cyber threats. With each successful project, his confidence grew. His manager often commended him, and his colleagues sought his advice on complex issues. Joseph used part of his income to set up a home office. He invested in reliable internet, a comfortable workspace, and additional training to keep up with the latest developments in cybersecurity. His commitment to growth ensured his continued success in the industry. As Joseph's career flourished, he felt a deep desire to give back. He began mentoring young people in his neighborhood, sharing his story, and encouraging them to pursue careers in tech. He organized free workshops, teaching basic computer skills and cybersecurity awareness to those with limited resources. Joseph also donated laptops to a local community center, ensuring others could access the tools they needed to learn. His efforts inspired many, and some even followed in his footsteps, enrolling in online courses and dreaming of global opportunities. Through his mentorship, Joseph transformed lives, proving that success is possible with dedication and the right support. His journey became a source of hope for his community, showing that even humble beginnings could lead to extraordinary achievements. Now in his early 30s, Joseph continues to excel as a cybersecurity expert. He has earned multiple advanced certifications, making him a sought-after professional in the global tech industry. His monthly income allows him to support his family while saving for future investments. Joseph's story is one of resilience and vision. From selling groundnuts on the streets of Abuja to securing a career that transcends borders, he exemplifies what it means to turn challenges into opportunities. As he looks toward the future, Joseph dreams of starting his own tech company to create job opportunities for young Nigerians. His journey is far from over, but his success has already left an indelible mark on his family, his community, and himself. Thank you for watching. Kindly comment your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos.